Hello everybody, welcome back to the ASUS YouTube channel. This is JJ once again, and we're bringing you another unboxing and overview. Today we're going to be taking a look at our latest generation of high-performance wireless router, and this actually being our brand new flagship series product, supplanting even the current model, the RT-N66U. The model that we're going to be taking a look at today and actually doing the unboxing and overview on is our brand new RT-N66U. There are quite a number of actually differences between this and our previous 56U model that have been in development for quite some time. We're using an entirely different internal radio in terms of processor, memory design, antenna design. It's an entirely reworked actually firmware and GUI. So from pretty much top to bottom, we've gone back to the drawing board at bringing you the highest performance router that's currently available on the market. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here at the box. Call out some of the features and functions that we initially see here before we actually get into the unboxing of it, and hopefully give you guys a little bit better understanding of where the 66U fits in terms of the current digital home or small home office or a business environment or a number of places where you need a high performance wireless router. So we can see here on the front of the box, first and foremost, we can actually see the RT-N66U in itself. And it's got a very different design than, of course, the 56U, which had a vertical base and actually had an internal antenna design, where actually for this unit, it actually will rest normally flat on a base, but it actually does have the ability to be rested vertically with an included slant, or it also has the option of being wall mounted. So you have a lot of functionality and versatility in terms of how you have this unit set up in your home. In addition to that, we can see that it actually has 3 different antennas, and this is one of the key items that's a difference. This is actually what allows the unit to be a 450 megabits router, so it allows it to have the highest level of performance that's currently available for standard 802.11. Now, moving over here to the bottom of the unit, we can see that we have a number of different kind of icons and notes regarding some of the feature set. We can see, of course, that the unit does support all the current Wi-Fi standards that are on the market in regards to 802.11a, b, g, and of course the current standard with 802.11n. And moving forward from that, we can see here we of course have 450 megabits support, and by 2 refers to its 450 megabit support for both 2.4 and for the 5 gigahertz channel, because it is a dual band router and concurrent on top of that. That means you have the ability to broadcast at both the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum and the 5 gigahertz spectrum, so you don't have to compromise. You have the best of both worlds, being able to have that high performance wireless connectivity for HD streams, high performance data transfers, and still keeping the 2.4 for more basic items such as just general web browsing or email or things along those lines. Now, another one that's been really cool that we've really kind of been a pioneer for is the inclusion of USB ports. We've taken it further by actually having a specialized internal power design so that we can actually offer much more power to our internal USB ports, so that you can take standard USB external hard drives or flash drives, be able to plug them in and not worry about having to route a secondary USB cable to the same secondary port, taking up both your USB 2 ports, or by using an external power brick or adapter. On top of that, we've also made some improvements that even offers faster USB 2 performance than our previous RT-N56U, so this is a big plus for people that use USB across the network. A new feature that we're introducing that also actually outclasses the 56U is support for guest IDs. So we have the ability that you can create your own local SSIDs in your home for 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, but you can all create guest IDs, and this is great for people that might want to have a secondary network for friends that are visiting, but they don't want them to have access to their private files or things along those lines, or for businesses. This is also another great option for customers. We also have now the inclusion of parental controls, and this is going to allow parents at home to have a lot more direct control, bypassing the computer altogether, to be able to give you the most flexibility of controlling the content that your family or your children might be viewing. And this is really important, of course, with so much varied type of content being available right now on the internet. Lastly, we have some specialized software that actually works in conjunction with our firmware, and a small application that you'll actually load directly into your PC, or can actually be web-based even if you're using it on, say, let's say a smartphone or a tablet or a Slate device, where we can have the router actually automatically do downloading for you from HTTP, FTP, BitTorrent, or a number of different sources without actually your computer even being on. So you can feed in the actual addresses or the information that you need to create those downloads, and it'll go ahead and do that for you and process the work all in the back end. So that gives you some of just the initial features and functions that we have here. We're going to go ahead and actually move over to the back, see what we have listed here, and then from there we're going to jump into the actual unboxing of the unit. So let's take a look here. And as we can see here on the back, we're having a little bit more information shown to us, and we can see right here we've actually got some of the information that I was talking about earlier, where the unit does have the ability to be wall mounted. So this is great when you're maybe in a two-story home environment and you want to be able to have kind of the best positioning for the unit to have coverage between the first floor and the second floor. It's also great for businesses or small home office environments where you don't want to have it maybe on desks or in counter space areas, things along those lines. And we also then have a stand, and the reason why we include the stand is that it's very important when you actually have an antenna-based design that you have flexibility of being able to position the base of where the signal is going to be sent out from. So this gives you flexibility in terms of being able to adjust the positioning of the unit to be able to get better performance, as well as, you know, for some people there's the aesthetic statement of having the unit shown in this fashion as opposed to being flat. Now you can see that we've got a couple of different brackets here defining some of the key benefits and features that we offer on this RT-N66U. And starting off here with speed being really one of the most key aspects behind what this unit was developed for. We have it embedded in this unit actually a 600 megahertz processor. So this actually allows it to have a very high level of performance with multiple types of load and high level streaming. So you could be streaming, you know, Hulu, Vudu, you know, high quality HD video streams, YouTube, also doing, you know, low latency, you know, high multiplayer count gaming environments, but also still have web browsing, all these things going on actively in your home, and the processor is not going to be bogged down, so that you can maintain high quality throughput, low latency, and high speed in terms of your file transfers all across your network stream. So that's a key component. We've also actually integrated 256 megabytes of memory built into the unit. So that also helps to increase the performance of this unit really over the competitors in the marketplace, as well as give us better performance than our current RT-N56U. Now, something that's pretty standard, pretty straightforward, but there hasn't been as much adoption for, but it's really a great feature if you've got a modern generation desktop, is Gigabit Ethernet. Gigabit Ethernet is still the absolute fastest, best way for the normal user at home to get the best performance for networking or internet connectivity, or really anything that relies on a network, whether it's an internet or a local intranet. For us, we have, of course, 4 gigabit ports, as well as the WAN port being gigabit based. And then we have some specialized technologies, as we note here, for wider coverage and noise resistance that are essentially our internal antenna designs and our firmware, which really help to optimize the signal and give you better performance and minimize against a lot of the potential interference you can have from different types of devices, whether they're other 802.11 based devices or, of course, other wireless spectrum devices that fit under the FCC, which can sometimes wreak havoc with wireless networks. Now, moving over, of course, we have some other items like sharing technologies. This unit, as you can see here, it notes a Dlna Compliance and also UPnP compliance. This is a big plus because if you've got like a modern generation TV, a console like a PS3 or an Xbox or any number of digital devices at home, this actually allows the unit to pretty much seamlessly be able to sync up and share files seamlessly with very little configuration between those devices. So this kind of reinforces that this is really kind of the strong backbone of a digital home. We have also support with those 2 USB ports that we noted to have wireless print functionality, where we can attach a printer, and actually we also support multiple function printers. So if it's like a scanner, copier, and printer, we have the ability to have those services actually be usable through the web as well for different types of devices. So it's not only just wireless printing, but you can actually do other functions that are supported based on that unit. Some of the other specialized software in regards to sharing is also our AI disk technology and the download master software that we noted earlier. With AI disk, this is really nice because what it allows you to do is readily take something that might be either on your network or be USB based, where you have it connected, and all of a sudden you have quick access to that USB flash drive or that storage device on your local network, or maybe even directly through the internet, through an FTP address or through your web browser. So not only can you access that information locally at home very easily on your wired or your wireless network, but also when you leave your home still have access to all that content. And easy for all is pretty straightforward. It's one of kind of the hallmarks that we've had with our latest generation of routers, and that's really been focusing on making the setup process very straightforward. As you'll see in some other videos that we're going to be releasing actually for this unit and for our networking series of products, we have a brand new entirely redesigned GUI, even better than the GUI that was on our 56U, that doesn't require any CD setup. All you pretty much have to do is turn this unit on and connect to the access point. If you're on a wireless device like a tablet or a cell phone, you can actually run the entire setup process without actually ever being on a PC or ever putting in some type of disk or an application. And if you connect it directly to a desktop or to a notebook, same thing. You just open up your web browser, it'll take you directly to the actual router's web page. You go through a couple of quick steps, and probably within 60 seconds you're going to be up and running, whether you're on wireless or whether you're actually on a hardline connection. So that's a big plus. We also have quick Wps setup, and this is a great option for people as you're introducing more and more wireless devices into your home. If they have the ability to be quickly set up through WPS, all you've got to do is click the WPS button and you're going to be good to go in terms of being able to get online. An example of that might be like here we have an actual wireless adapter. And with this wireless adapter right here, there's a WPS button. So with this router, all we would need to do is just press that button, and from there that would actually synchronize with the router and we'd be good to go. So it's a very simple process. And lastly, with security, as we noted, we have parental controls. We have guest networks, which you can configure to a very large degree and to a very professional degree in terms of ports and filtering and a lot of different variables that are available in our professional firmware. And then one really big one is the introduction of VPN server support. We've worked very hard working with actually a lot of our users and the professional community at finding out what they need in terms of VPN support and making sure that this unit supports robust configuration parameters for VPN, whether you're a professional or whether you're working through your business's networks. That's going to be a critical item. So with that noted, let's actually go ahead and actually jump into what we really want to see, which is the unit itself. So first off the bat here, we've actually got the included stand. So this allows you to go ahead and actually have a little bit more of a vertical base for your actual RT-N66U. We have here the actual AC adapter. That's a very small AC adapter, so it's not going to take a lot of room in terms of your surge protector or power strip or on your wall. It's also vertical based, whereas some of the other AC adapters that are generally on the market actually have a more horizontal base, so they tend to take up a little bit more. We have, of course, an included Gigabit flat network cable. So that's important in terms there of either being the connection from your modem to the actual router itself or from the actual router to the desktop. We have 3 high-performance antennas that are actually removable. This is a great option that we actually have available here on the RT-N66 that we'll show once we actually get to the back of the unit. We have, of course, our VIP member warranty registration information. You always want to do that if possible, but the warranty does not require you to register the product. For the users that do feel more comfortable running on normal setup software and referencing more advanced manual information, we still do include that, but as we noted, no CD is required to actually be able to set up this unit. We actually have a quick start guide, which gives you some quick tips and tricks in terms of being able to successfully get this set up, and the event that our easy setup process that we have runs into maybe some problems or some troubleshooting is required. So we'll set that there to the side. And lastly, we actually have what we're really interested in here, which is the RT-N66U itself. So we can see right off the bat, the unit itself is actually quite different from our 66, where our 66 actually had a high gloss base coating. We've gone ahead and listened to a lot of our users and actually adopted a nice kind of matte, but still have a bit of semi-sheen to it. So it looks really nice, but also very functional. Unlike some of the other products on the market where they've taken away some of the ID characteristics that you need to be able to reference network connectivity and functionality, we still maintain, of course, all the status LED indicators that you want. So you've got your power, you then have your LAN connectivity lights, internet connectivity, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, as well as USB connectivity. So we give you a very wide range of actually LED information here, and this is actually controllable in terms of the brightness levels. You can go into the actual firmware and adjust those. So we do give you the ability to be able to go in there and make adjustments if you find that it might be too bright, maybe if you have it in your bedroom or something along those lines. So Moving around, we can see that the overall footprint, it's a pretty silhouette, it's thin, it's very stylized. We're going to go ahead and take a look here on the sides, and you can see that we actually have some venting on the unit. Now, as we did note, this unit does actually have a 600 megahertz processor in there and that 256 megabytes of RAM. So definitely as you put it under load, you are going to be generating some heat, but we have actually kept that in mind in regards to the actual design considerations. We have a full passive heatsink assembly inside here. So this is great because it's a high performance heatsink that of course is inaudible, can never fail because it's not based on some type of fan, produces no noise, but is going to help to ensure overall long-term reliability to this unit because we're effectively dissipating the heat. And of course those vents help to allow for additional airflow in the unit. Now moving over to the back of our actual RT-N66U is where we have all kind of the meat and potatoes in terms of our connectivity. So we can see here that we've got the 3x3 antenna design, and as I noted before, these actual antennas are replaceable. Now by default we do come with these high performance antennas that we have here, but in the event maybe that you're in a larger space, even though this unit could cover generally a 2-story, 3-story house, very large, home environment without any issues, you might be in a situation where you might want to use a more high performance antenna solution. Now we actually do have a couple of these in terms of products on the market, and we can see right here we actually have one of them. This is an ASUS high performance wireless antenna, and it has the ability that we can go ahead and just readily connect that there, and we have of course a bit more length, and we can make adjustments. We can tilt this so that we can have greater signal coverage with overall better signal density to give us better connectivity and overall better throughput. So that's one of the great options that this 66U has compared to some of our other models, which while they include very high performance and high range internal antennas, this unit gives you the flexibility of being able to replace these antennas. So moving forward from that, we'll go ahead and set this guy back aside, and we'll go to the actual connection options. So right here at the top, we can see here that we've got the actual power connection. So that's where we would go ahead and just connect the power for our AC adapter. Very straightforward. Here we actually have the power button, so you can actually turn the router off and on. This is great for, in sometimes troubleshooting situations where you might need to easily just reset the unit and you want to be able to turn it off and on. So that's very practical. We have 2 USB 2 ports, and as we noted earlier, due to that 600 megahertz processor and our optimized firmware, these ports are very high performance. We can actually get over 20 megabytes read and write performance with this. So these are pretty much the fastest USB 2 performing ports you can currently get on a router. So really allows you to actually snazz up and take advantage of using local storage across your network, whether it's on a wireless or wired connection. Now moving over from there, we've got our Gigabit WAN connection, and then from there we've got our 4 Gigabit local network connections, and that's great in terms of being able to give you the fastest performance for local data transfer, for backups, maybe ISO imaging, or a number of different things that you can do depending on your usage model. And then lastly right here we've got the Wps button, which we discussed before. It's a quick and easy way in terms of being able to quickly set your security between this and another device. So that gives you a little bit of kind of an overview regarding the 66U. We're going to go ahead and actually set it up here quickly, and just note lastly some of the kind of comparison products that you might work with this if you're deciding to use this in your digital home. So as you can see here, we're attaching the 3 antennas very easy, and this is going to allow us to have the best performance. And we're going to take a look at some of the wireless products that would align with this. So here we can see we've got our 66U. And pairing it with right at the top of the line would be here we actually have a 450 megabits adapter. This is our upcoming EA N66, and we'll actually have a USB version. This one actually has Ethernet for direct connectivity to, let's say, like a television or a console or even a desktop or a notebook. But this will actually allow you to take direct advantage of the 3x3 antenna design, giving you up to that potential of 450 megabits. And although that's a theoretical standard, in our testing we've actually been able to get actually at or around or even above true 300 megabits performance. So this is really outstanding for the users that are really looking for the highest level of networking performance. This is going to be the type of product that you're looking for, and of course it supports 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, so that ideally works with this type of product. Now for users that are looking for something that might be smaller but still high level of performance, Of course, we've got our USB N53, which is a 300 megabits adapter, but still gives you 2.4 and 5 gigahertz support, with this unit being able to do that. And you could imagine, of course, maybe having this unit work at 5 gigahertz with that 3-band 450 megahertz support on the 5 gigahertz channel, and then maybe having this unit set to 2.4 gigahertz, still allowing you to have a very high level of performance, but on 2 independent channels. This is also very similar to this unit for users that are looking for our HD video streaming, large data transfers, very low latency gaming, things along those lines. Now, for users that don't necessarily need something as high performance, but are still looking for a very strong solution, we have our USB N13, which also would work with this unit on the 2.4 gigahertz channel, no 5 gigahertz support. And we have our 300 megabits based adapter, so still be very, very high performance in terms of giving you web browsing, data transfer, even gaming performance. Just if you start to throw maybe the highest level of HD video streams, that's where you might start to see a little bit, or of course anything that you really, really want to hit very heavy in terms of actually data transfers. And then lastly, we still have another option, which is very minor in terms of its size, but still high level of performance. And this actually can offer sometimes even much better performance than the integrated Wi-Fi solutions on most notebooks, just like most of these adapters do, due to their more advanced antenna designs as well as faster processing abilities. This is only a 150 megabit adapter that works at 2.4 gigahertz, but can still equally work well with this unit. So this is really great for users that are looking kind of for that basic all-around solution. They do a little bit of everything, but don't necessarily need the throughput of what's offered on 300 megabits or the 5 gigahertz support, or of course the 450 megabits here. And lastly, we've got our desktop people where you would have a solution like this, a 300 megabits 2-antenna design, and all these all together would all work without any issues on this type of product with our RT-N66U. So it gives you a little bit of an overall perspective regarding some of the features and functions that we're introducing with this model. We're going to actually have a couple of other videos, so make sure to stay tuned to the YouTube channel where we're going to be going over some performance testing, as well as some setup and some tips and tricks on how to best optimize and get the most performance out of this unit. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, make sure to drop them here on the page or hit us up at Facebook or Twitter. Thank you.